Sometimes the irony of trying to write a theme song for a show called This Will Never Work gets the best of you, and, well, it sucks. So, welcome.
Fuck the what chant? That's fucking stone cold.
Because now, because that shit hasn't been relevant in like 20 some years.
What?
And it's just annoying.
No,
because
it's not.
now they're in
I
the.
love it.
I hate it because like sometimes it to me it's just annoying, and also that this is awesome. Like I hate that. I don't know why. I'm just being a hater because like
this is awesome is kind of cringy.
It's just like this is awesome.
This is awesome.
Like I like wrestling.
Okay, but
Just the fuck.
but dude, if you're in that audience, are you not going to join in? Like, are you not going to join
I don't
in?
know.
And
I
fucking
mean,
like,
yeah, that's
because
group dynamics are different.
The energy, like, I feel like being in that crowd and being like a part of that clapping and fucking,
I could see that
and shouting, like,
I could see that
100%.
Yeah,
like I know I would join in.
Well, yeah, and you hear about that too when you watch like say you watch pay per view and you're like that was whack, but you'll see the people who are there had a great time, and I think it's because the crowd atmosphere.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, and like like have you ever been to any live wrestling events? Okay,
No.
It's totally like I've been to one. I think that one Raw that I was talking about where Brett. I think I've been to one, maybe two.
Yeah,
I've been to, and it's when you're actually there and like the whole crowd is there and like you got the energy of the room and everybody's fucking yelling and screaming and like they're wrestling in front of you. Like it's pretty
I get it.
Unreal. Sense. When it comes to like a pay-per-view event like Royal Rumble or like WrestleMania, like any like SummerSlam, any of those shits, and it's a sold out crowd. Yeah, they love posting every time they do a WrestleMania. And they're like, this is a record crowd, 45,000 motherfuckers in this arena every single time. They're like, we've fucking sold this thing out more people than have ever been in this arena before because they move around, right? So it's like, okay, so you're the Guinness World Book holder for whatever. This
full capacity crowd, right? That's JR. JR loves saying that shit.
They are wrestling in front of a full capacity crowd here tonight,
ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to WrestleMania. I've never been to a WrestleMania. I have many friends that have gone to WrestleMania events, and like when you ask, like, what was it like? They're like, dude, it's undescribable because the energy, like everybody there is just so fucking amped up, and what you're about to see is like literally a fucking. It's like that South Park episode of like when they do. Like they build their own wrestling the federation or whatever.
Man, what episode? I don't remember that.
Really? Oh my god, that's one of the.
Is it the backyard wrestling one?
Yeah, the back, and like
Does Jimmy wrestle?
I think Jimmy does, but they're like poking fun at wrestling, how it's like scripted and fucking, and they're like auditioning guys and they're like singing songs, and then Vince McMahon shows up and he's like, "Ah, yes, you wrestled very good," and it's like a theater production, but no, it's literally like what you're about to witness is like so. Like absolutely like hype, and it's just fucking like the whole point of the whole thing is just to like keep the crowd,
especially when you have that many like-minded people who are all there for the same thing. It's
holding
not
up
like
signs and fucking yelling shit and like I hate this person for no reason, but I fucking love this guy and fucking like
there's nothing like it.
Exactly.
And I think people don't. Obviously you like wrestling. I like wrestling. I think a lot of people are just kind of like, well, this is stupid. Well, but.
That's the thing is like people I think they don't understand it because it's like when you're people who poo on wrestling, it's like it's fake, right? Well, we all do.
Yeah,
but
everyone does. Yeah, it's theater.
Exactly. It's theater for rednecks. Like it's fucking it's
you know what someone said actually?
Americana. What?
This girl was like, she's like, oh, I love wrestling. It's like drag for straight men. I'm like, listen, bitch, drag is drag for straight men. All right. Yeah. Like, don't get it twisted. You don't think we're watching fucking RuPaul?
Do you watch RuPaul's?
Not recently, but I've watched it. I've definitely watched a bunch of So when she said that, I was kind of like, no, drag is drag for straight men. I'll watch that shit too. But but wrestling, man, like I think
I understand what she's saying.
No, I know, I do too. But it's just it's like there's nothing like it. It's like this weird form of theater and sports and storytelling, and that's why I love it. And that's why I think so many things click for me when I started watching again this year, because I think all the things that I was like trying to express in terms of like character and what I wanted to present and who I wanted to be was represented in wrestling. And I didn't even notice, because like as a kid I would watch it, right? But like we didn't have cable, so it would be on 8 channel.
Oh,
I think it was at Channel 5
yeah,
back in the day.
I remember.
Yeah, 8 channel. So I think it was like Saturdays after cartoons, or maybe it was Sundays. They would show Raw. So like I would just watch it because there's nothing else on.
The previous week's Raw.
They would show they would show Raw, and they would also show Stampede Wrestling before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I would just watch it because I'm like, fuck,
it would have been Sundays because like they had no other programming for Sundays.
So I remember watching like the Stone Cold saga with Vince McMahon and shit like that.
Yep.
You know, and as a kid, I was just like, yeah, this is cool. Like I wasn't super into it, but I was just like, yeah, you know, I watch it. Like I know who the people are, whatever. Fast forward a year later. Fast forward to last year, around this time last year, I was just like, I think I was maybe watching Dark Side of the Ring or something.
Okay, yeah.
And then I found this YouTube channel that had a bunch of like biographies of wrestlers. So, you know, I started watching those and I'm like, oh shit, I remember this guy, I remember that guy. And then I started realizing how much of an effect wrestling had on me without me realizing, like the way I dress, the shit I'm into, like that whole hunk thing, that's wrestling. You know what I mean? So that's when it all clicked. And that's when I was just like, this is the fucking greatest thing ever, you know? And when I look at wrestling, there's so many parallels to the music industry. And I think that's why I like it too, because like WWE is like Universal Records. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like they're the major label. And like there's so many parallels, because you'll see like the same way artists will get a push from a label, you see certain wrestlers get a push, and then the push just ends. The same way like a label, like let's say the guy who is your A&R, the guy who brought you in, leaves the company, they're going to be like, well, that guy kind of was down for you. We don't really understand your project, so we're just going to shelf you. You know, and the same thing happens with wrestling.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's bad or good.
Yeah,
it just means they don't understand.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. And like you look the same thing, like Triple H. There's a lot of wrestling we're talking about, but wrestling is the best. But like when I look at Triple H, they have this, you know, they have NXT, which is like kind of like their indie / developmental brand. And like they would bring guys from NXT up to like Raw on the main roster.
Yep.
So it would go from being under control of Triple H to Vince McMahon, and Vince would fuck them up. He'd be like, I don't get it, pal. I'm gonna make you wear a fucking gladiator outfit.
He's gonna puke.
Yeah, he's gonna puke.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and
I know exactly. Yeah, what you mean.
and the reason why I identify wrestling so much is like that's how music is. It's like, yo, you go from one thing, or let's say you're on one management company, you go to another one, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just everything's different, and it changes the drop of the hat. And in the same way, like before AEW and shit, I know before the last few years, when now, like, you know, there's a lot of choice for wrestlers. Like before, it's just like
we know you have your choice of wrestlers, and we appreciate the fact that you watch us.
Yeah.
Thank you for
like you have your choice of federations, right? Like
totally.
Like there's Impact, there's AEW, there's, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. But back when it was just WWE, was kind of same before, like, you know, they
just kept buying everybody.
Yeah, they bought everybody. They would poach people. Same thing with music, right? Before you really had streaming and shit, it was kind of like if you're not on a label, it's gonna be really hard. And look, it still is really hard. Speaking as a fully independent artist who runs everything from A to Z, it's a lot of work, but there's still a chance to get seen, you know. Whereas before, like it was a lot more difficult. And I think that's why I gravitate to wrestling so much, is because it's kind of the same thing. It's like you have your artists, they have their gimmick or their genre, let's say, and they're going out there and performing, and they're just trying to make it the same as any artist. Same with like fighters. Like I watch a lot of mixed martial arts, and like, yo, I feel like these guys probably have it the worst. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Way worse than musicians, because like, yo, I'm not like putting my body on the line. You know what I mean? Whereas these guys are putting their fucking bodies on the line, getting paid bullshit.
Yeah,
you know, it's disgusting. You know
Isn't
what I mean?
that a big? Sorry, not to cut you off.
Yeah,
the MMA thing. Like that's kind of a big point of contention right now.
Absolutely, the contracts, right?
Yeah.
Well,
even
for
like
UFC,
was it Jake Paul? Yeah, he was the one that was like calling out Dana White, saying like, why the fuck are these guys getting paid like nothing? When you like, UFC is literally like a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and it's like crazy. You're paying them fucking like, what is it, like 2,000, like something stupid.
I don't know what it is, but it's not enough.
No, it's not. Dude, even guys that win, like even guys that are like on main card like UFC pay-per-views that are like winning fights, they're still not.
Yeah, and Ngannou only made $500K Francis Ngannou, who's the heavyweight champ right now.
Yeah, like, and it's just like, okay, like $500K is a lot of money, but it's like,
yeah,
you're not gonna like, you're like, dude, like he could have fucking Conor McGregor'd his leg, and then it's like, what, like,
well, and he fought with an injured knee too. That's the craziest thing. This guy fought injured.
They are literally like they're sacrificing their bodies and putting themselves on the line.
CT, like yeah. So I
like their future is going to be so fucked.
It's hard, yeah, right. And so I think
so. It's like 500 grand, great. But when somebody like on the outside going, well, they get paid really fucking well. No, if you break it down, like, okay, if you fight that one time and you hurt yourself in that fight, okay, well, now you have a lasting injury. Maybe you don't get to fight for another like year or 2 years. Maybe you never fight again. That 500 grand, well, how far is that going to go for the rest of your life?
Exactly. Well, plus when they're making millions of dollars, who like pay me more?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why I have such an affinity for things like wrestling and mixed martial arts, because it's like, yo, these guys are artists themselves in their own right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of
they're bleeding for their art.
they're bleed like, and I would say, I mean, it's like, obviously I'm not putting myself in physical danger.
No, but mentally you're like, putting a lot of
it's a lot of stress, but so I think it's just, you know, it's like entertainment in general. We all kind of go through some of the same struggles, and I think that's one of the huge appeals of wrestling. Other than the larger than life characters and the storytelling, is just like the business end behind it, because there's so many parallels to music, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like a lot of the same shit we go through, funny enough, in terms of like, you know, trying to make decisions for your career, where you're gonna go, what's best for you, who's gonna pay you, who's not gonna pay you, you know. Doing shit for peanuts, you know, doing live performances for you know, no fucking money. So
100%. It's kind of funny you say that, because you're right. There is a lot of parallels there, and I mean, there's a lot of parallels to a lot of industries.
Yeah.
In that regard, where it's just like you literally work for peanuts. You fucking sacrifice a lot of yourself, and I mean,
that's why I want to be independent. That's why I didn't sign with another, you know, because like,
did you have the opportunity?
Yeah, I'm sure I could have, you know what I mean, like I
still could potentially.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I talk a lot of shit online, I mean maybe, but it's just like I'm sure I could have found, you know, somebody. Well, even my first deal, like instead of going with Fool's Gold, I probably could have gone with the major, you know what I mean? But like,
with that,
I wanted to own my shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's important to me. I need to own my shit. I need control, you know?
So the deal that you did with Fool's Gold, you still had, I still
own my stuff. Yeah.
That's good.
So it was an exclusive license. So they had a license.
Oh, I see.
They have an exclusive license to those pieces of music for a certain amount of time, but I still own all the publishing and the masters and stuff. But they will control the masters exclusively for, you know, a set amount of time in the contract, after which it reverts full control back to me.
How long is that? Like 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's like 10. Well, it depends. Some are 5, some are 10.
Got you. Yeah. And that's like good on you for that, because I mean, like, look at fucking what is it, Kate Bush right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. She owns her shit too.
She owns the publishing to fucking Running Up That Hill.
She owns that shit.
And because of Stranger Things, she's making so much fucking money.
Good for her. Love it.
Which is also kind of bullshit, because like you think about how much money she's making off of just the streaming of that song alone. Like the fucking streaming companies, they're paying peanuts when it comes to streaming. So it's like you think about how many times that song's been streamed.
Well, and TikTok, for example, it's been on TikTok how many times? They're not paying for that.
Nope.
They don't pay for that. They should.
Because isn't it? They've like TikTok's. They've made a deal with the record companies or something, isn't it?
Well, so in their defense, like, oh, this is promotion. People aren't using this to like listen to music, but I've also seen stuff to where like you can upload up to 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
No, because like again, shout out to Low Profile. If you go on their page, they have a great post basically breaking it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
how TikTok like gets around these things.
Exactly, and like they explain it a million times better than I could. But they're
loopholes.
Yeah, but they're just like, this is why X, Y, and Z is bullshit.
Fair enough. I've often wondered about that, because like I had a video go viral in 2014 that I used copyrighted music in.
Yeah,
and it hit like 220,000 views.
Yeah.
and then YouTube shut it down. They were like, copyright claim. I was like, okay. And so it's like banned in all these countries because of blah, 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 like all these things. And then you look at Instagram, same thing. So Instagram, they're doing their Reels thing now, right? Where they'll let you use songs, and like I think the way it works is like they have some sort of like
it identifies it,
deal with the record companies where they're like, yeah, you can use the songs or Reel, whatever, however the fuck it works. But then I've had Reels where I've literally gone and searched the song in their database, added it to my video through Instagram, not on my computer, and then I get a copyright strike doing it on their platform. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude?
That's what I mean, though. It's a fucking mess.
TikTok, on the other hand, you can pretty much do whatever. Like, it's kind of, dude, TikTok's kind of like the Wild West. You can do whatever the fuck you want, for the most part, and like,
except for smoke weed or like.
Did they shut that down?
Apparently, I remember I tried to upload TikTok. It was like I had a joint in my mouth, like it wasn't lit or anything, and it was like, this is inappropriate. And I'm like, I disagree.
I disagree because it's legal in Canada.
Exactly. I challenged it and it went through, but I swear it got shadow banned because it was just like one view. I'm like,
yeah, it got shadow banned.
Yeah,
that's
so
that's a bummer.
But I mean, yeah, like it's fuck going back to streaming and stuff, and like Spotify and like royalties and shit, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about getting paid peanuts. Like, yeah, I mean,
well, that's something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
about.
Well, look, I feel like
because Rotten Pieces has like 2 million something plays.
Does it?
I don't know.
No, the Juice. I think the Juice has 2 million. Rotten Pieces has 1. Well, whatever. Either way, it's like
you got the juice.
The way it works, right? Because they're saying it averages out to like 0.0.
It's like something of a cent
per play. Yeah, it's like 0.004. It's like a fraction of a cent. But that's not even. That's just an estimation because the way it actually works is like, how do I explain this? Like, it's kind of prorated. You know what I mean? So like in the sense of, you don't necessarily get paid for however many plays that you've got, like directly. It's not like you get a play and then you get paid. It's basically they take the sum of all the money they've made for that month and then distribute it based on like listeners or something like that. I can't remember. So it's like it's not accurate. Yeah. So like the people who are the bigger, they're gonna make the most money.
So Beyonce is getting like and Taylor Swift.
Oh, like Weeknd is making hella money, but because I think Weeknd was like had the most listeners at one point, like 60 million or something a month, some shit like that
on Spotify.
Yeah, on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
But also shout out to him because like that's cool for like a Canadian.
I don't know why the fuck I threw up.
Hey, but yeah, so like I mean, you got to contend with that. You got to contend with, to even get your stuff on a Spotify, Apple, you have to sign up with a distro company, so automatically they're taking a piece, or you got to pay them an annual fee or whatever. What's up?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing with podcasts. So I pay monthly for my Buzzsprout account that I upload my podcast to, and then that pushes it pushes it
to every platform. Kind of thing.
Like it's nice in that regard because you're paying them for a service that you don't want to do yourself. Because if you had to go and actually distribute the song, okay, I have to go and upload it to Spotify,
100%,
upload it to Apple, and like go through, because even then it's like you'd have to go through all of the rigmarole of like doing all of the fucking album artwork and all the song, like all that shit, doing it in one place. And then having them push it out to all the platforms is really nice.
It is, but you don't have a relationship with the services, and that's what annoys me, right? Because any issues you have to go through a third party. Right?
Yeah,
I hate that.
So which one do you use?
Right now I'm using DistroKid. So I was gonna release it through Stem, which is like one of these, I don't know, like let's call it a boutique distributor.
Okay. DistroKid I've heard of before. Stem
Stem is like there's Stem, there's AWOL, United Masters, and these are kind of like more
the higher end.
Let's say boutique versions of DistroKid. You know what I mean? Where it's like sometimes you have to send the music. They gotta decide. If
CD Baby's one as well.
CD Baby's another one.
Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still around, I think. But like those are the ones that you just sign up to, whatever. But like
I could sign up and fucking put a song.
Totally. Okay, whereas like Stem, it's like, who are you? What do you blah blah blah, right?
They got a few questions.
Yeah, and also because like they have a bit more. Yeah, what's your credit card number? But yeah, the thing is with them is like they like I was supposed to release it through STEM.
Okay.
You know, and this is why I get like annoyed because I'm like I was supposed to release it through them, and then the management I was with, I ended up leaving. You know, on good terms. Like shout out to
just
them.
Parted ways.
Yeah, just parted ways. You know what I mean? There's
creative differences.
No, not even creative differences. It was more just like it was time.
I want to do all this on my own.
Well, no, not even that. I think it was just like at that point it was like, look, I don't think there just wasn't much value being brought to me because like all the things I was doing, it's like, well, I don't see where you fit in at this point. And I think they also were just kind of like, yeah, we don't, you know, there's not much value we can provide, you know, which is fair enough. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens.
Yep.
And, you know, it's better to just like be like, you know what, let's just call it a day.
Yep.
And it was just one of those things.
Yep.
No bad blood though. Like it's, you know.
No, because I mean, who knows? Like you could probably never know about the future.
Yeah, you never know the future. And just like my ex-manager, he's a good dude. He's a good dude, you know, and I like the dude. So
you were supposed to release through STEM.
Yeah, I was supposed to release through STEM. And then as soon as I left that management company, like the one rep at STEM was just kind of like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, like can't release your album because you're not with this management company anymore. I'm like, bitch, I already uploaded that shit. What do you mean? Like, yeah, like you're telling me after I uploaded, I already have a release day set, and then all of a sudden you're pulling this bullshit. Like you couldn't even just.
Did you have to push the release? Or
yeah, I pushed it. I had to push it back. It was gonna come out in May.
Oh,
and then I pushed it to fucking last week or whenever it came out, a couple weeks ago.
In August, yeah.
August 26th, right? So
yeah, almost a month now.
Yeah, I was pissed because it was like some fucking idiot.
Oh, because you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I think I'd asked you. Yeah. I think I'd asked you initially, and you were like, "Yeah, it's coming out in May," and then like we talked again, and you're like, "Yeah, August," and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, happened? Yeah, I had to push it back.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because like the dude was just kind of like, yeah, because like so we, you know, they give you a rep. That's the other thing with a lot of these streaming things, right? You get a rep or whatever, but like I've used STEM, I've used United Masters, DistroKid. I think CD Union, all that shit. And like I think DistroKid's the best because like it's what you see is what you get. You pay for it. You don't have a rep, but it does what it says on the tin. Whereas like using a United Masters, for example, like they were fucking useless. Like my manager had to like the girl that was supposed to be our rep, he had to like basically go above her head just to get her to respond to fucking emails to help us push the because she's
probably that's the thing, she's probably handling like so many different accounts.
Yeah, or she just doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Or they're just bad at they're just, I don't know, they didn't have a great reputation. But you could be right. Maybe she did have too much work, right? That's like maybe true. She, you know, because that does happen.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is someone from United Masters has reached out to me in my DMs like in the last like month or two. And was just like, hey, like I'm a fan. Like, have you heard of United Masters? Like, And I'm like, bitch, I already did a release with you guys, you fucking idiot. Like, I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. She's like, yeah, oh, you did? Like, how was your experience? I was like, to be honest, it's pretty fucking whack. I'm not gonna lie, it was whack. No, you know, and she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we did some restructuring, whatever. If you're down to talk, I'm like, yeah, for sure, let's talk sometime. Never hit me back again. Read that shit. And so it's like, it's a lot of bullshit out there, man. I don't even know. That was a tangent from talking about streaming. But the point is these distribution services, like back to the STEM story, like, I couldn't release the album because I wasn't with that management company anymore. And it's like, really? You're going to fuck up my whole thing?
Yeah. Like, if
I understand the economics of it. Like, totally. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not like a big act or anything. And like, they have to use extra resources. And now I'm not even with this big management company. Because the management company can leverage the other acts to be like, yo, just put our other guy on here. We have all these other big acts on here, right?
Okay.
But now that I'm not with them, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're not a big act, so like, but we still have to do this work for you. So that I understand.
But what do they have? But what do they have to do?
Well, just pitching, like for example, because to get on a playlist, right?
Oh,
you basically have to like suck Spotify's dick, be like, hey guys, you guys are so cool. Can you please put my song on? It's about this. And now I just when I do that, I just put I'm a hunk. I invented Hunk Pop. That's what I say every time. Because fuck them. They don't. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like they have like curators, but like these guys couldn't curate their way out of a fucking paper bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
It's funny when I open my Spotify.
Yeah,
it'll like I know it's a curated specifically for me because of what I listen to.
Yeah, and the algorithm's different, right?
And it's like but it's like my release radar is a photo of you Because it's like, because the album is just came out or whatever. Totally. And I'm like, oh, that's so sick. But then I'm like, that's just the algorithm that's showing me your photo.
Yeah, because I'm like, talking about like the editorial, you know, like whatever, like I don't know, whatever.
Built by Spotify where it's actually people putting together.
Yeah, but it's just, they just put like label priorities or like their friends on there. And it, you know, it is what it is. Like,
well, it's political. Like,
it's, and that's just the nature of things. You know, like you can't
like, get around. Like,
it is what it is, man. Like it's, you know, it just comes with the territory of being an artist today. But back to my point about the about STEM, right? So like that's what they have to do, because they have relationships with these streaming companies to be like, hey, you should put this kind of playlist because X, Y, and Z, you know. So that's kind of what it was, and they have reps for you at STEM, and like my rep had left and was like, hey, like this person's in charge. So I emailed him being like, hey, I got an album coming out. Like I just, you know, I was, you know, in the initial call, my rep told us about all these things we can do, and like now I have the album coming out. I wanted to see like, you know, how I could do that. Am I going to get another rep, whatever? And that's when he came back and was like, yeah, actually you can't release with us, basically. He came back with that. And he's like, yeah, you know, it's nothing personal at all. Like, I understand you parted ways with your management. Unfortunately, like we can't like release your thing anymore, you know, whatever.
That's annoying.
And I was like, yo,
because if your rep hadn't left, you probably would have been able to release.
Exactly, because all the work had been done. Not even that. It's just like, not even the rep. It's like, if I just stay with that management company, be fine. You know, but I'm like, bro, my album is already up here. I understand. Like, at least let me release the album I already uploaded that has a release date. You know what I'm saying? And then I can transfer it later. Right. But like, I was so mad. I'm like, fuck them. I'll just push it back. I don't care. Like, I don't want them to have anything to do with my release. So I was just like,
well, and like, I guess.
And no one's waiting for this shit anyways. So you know,
I was.
Well, yeah, you, but like,
I was.
You and the 7 other people. But like,
yeah, fuck it. You know, those 8 people are the ones
for
that
sure. I guess. And I love those 8 people. Don't get me wrong. But it was like, if I pushed it back a few months, I don't think that, you know, it's not like Drake pushing back an album or Kendrick or something. No. You know, it's just like, who cares? It's Hero, you know? So,
no, and see, but that's the thing is like, you pushing back an album, I'm like, oh shit, what's going on?
Yeah.
Drake pushing back an album, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I didn't. Oh, he's got a new album, great.
But yeah, different strokes, I guess, right? But but yeah, like it was just, it's just as an indie artist, man, it's frustrating because you basically have to like include all these goddamn middlemen for everything just to get paid, instead of being able to do it yourself. And on some hand, yeah, it's nice to have someone to do that for you. But like, man, I like to see what's going on. I like to have control. I like to know what's happening with my business. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a business. Yeah. And I think, you know, there's fun parts, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to be business minded, and you have to pay attention to what's going on with your career, because nobody gives a fuck except for you. No one's ever going to care as much. And I'm saying this to like any artists who are listening, like any young artists, because like I think these labels prey on desperation, right? They're like, oh, this guy, like, he really wants to get on, like, whatever. But it's like, yo, you got to bet on yourself, right? And bet on your abilities so that you can like get to a position where you have leverage when these guys come for you, right? But and for example, with STEM, I had no leverage, right? Because what am I going to say? Like, no, I swear the album's good, just let me stay. Like, I had no leverage. I don't have any, you know. So,
and you know what? And like, good on you for being like humble enough to be like, all right, you're fucking my shit up, but like, okay.
Well, because I get it from a business standpoint. I get it. It's just I think a shitty thing to do when my album's already up there. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like.
Well, yeah, the release is already like slated to go, and they're like, they're just like kind of like delete.
Yeah, well, no, he's not even that. He's just like, oh, you're just not allowed to. You can't upload anything else, and I'm like, okay, but like, I gotta set these singles up, this and that. So I probably could have just been like, hey, you know, like made a big fuss about it, but I was like, well, A, I'm annoyed. B, fuck you. Like, I don't want you to get any of my money now, so I'd rather push it back. I'd rather push it back and keep the money than give you a cent, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, fuck STEM, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, because their motto is unfucking the music industry. I'm like, how? How, nigga? How, STEM?
They're unfucking the music industry by fucking over indie artists. That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, so fuck STEM, fuck United Master. Jeez, I'm just scorched earth, man. Like, I love it. But
you're going CM Punk on these motherfuckers.
Shit, I'm going CM Punk at the media scrum, bro. I'm going full gripe bomb.
I am not friends with these fucking people anymore.
Yeah. I haven't seen eye to eye with these distro companies in how long? Fucking goddamn it.
Hero, nobody asked you anything. Like, you literally sit down. I'll start.
Wait, give me some muffins. Give me some muffins and fucking seltzer.
Okay, we got some fucking muffins upstairs. I'm pretty sure. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but nah, man. Like, if anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, just watch the AEW media scrum.
Oh yeah, AEW. Yeah, he was showing it to me before we started. Holy fuck, CM Punk is fuck, and it's like 23 minutes long. And
yeah, it is. Yeah.
And like, we watched like 5 minutes of it, and I'm pretty sure the whole thing is probably him just yelling about the one thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, he doesn't seem very happy, man.
Jesus Christ.
No, I forget. Oh, but like, long story short, I mean, you know, and I think that as an artist, that's another thing though, right? Because like, it's really easy to become the bitter guy, you know, if you're an indie artist, like, because you see, you know, you go on Instagram, you see people like doing this and that. You have no idea how they got that. That's the other thing, right? You might think like, oh, how did they get that? But it's like, you have no idea.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm in the same position, like, with doing this. Like, I'm doing all of this independently myself, you know, off the kind of gracious, you know, fact that I have a couple people that believe in me, and it's like, at any point, you know, this could crash and burn. Exactly. And it's like, I had a really bad day yesterday in terms of like, I have to monetize this. Like, I have no fucking money. How the fuck am I going to pay my mortgage and like fucking shit like that?
Yeah.
Where, you know,
which is like the plight of the artist, right? Like, if you're a creative, it's hard enough to make money. And I think that's why, but you know what, going back to what I said, I think that's why, you know, it's so easy to take things personally, because it's like, if you're a musician, you're creative, it's a lifestyle a lot of the time, right? It's not a job. It's like, it becomes your life. Even if you're not getting paid, excuse me, even if you're not getting paid, some of that coffee's coming back up. Even if you're not getting paid, like, you're still putting in like 60-hour work week, you know what I'm saying? Whether you get paid or not. Like, let's say you build a house, right? Yeah. You spend 10 days building a house. Theoretically, you're 10 days closer to finishing the house, right? Like, let's say you're building a frame. Yep. You work on a song for 10 days, you could go back in time and be like, you know, I actually hate this song now, and be like even worse off than when you started. So
yeah, Control-Alt-Delete the last 10 days.
Yeah, because it's just like, you know what, this is actually garbage. I don't know why I was working on this for so long, right? So
speaking specifically to that, building this space, there were so many times where I would spend hours moving stuff around and actually like changing things around and getting it to like a certain point, looking at it and going, I fucking hate what I just did. I hate everything I just did. Yeah. I can't Control-Alt-Delete this. I have to actually physically move
you gotta take it down
again.
Yeah, start over again.
So many times. Yeah. So I know what you mean.
So when it's your lifestyle like that, right? Like, it's hard not to take things personally, right?
Because it becomes like, a part of you.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, you're fucking with my livelihood at this point, right? You're fucking with how I put food on my fucking table, dog. Like, that's why, like, I think, you know, I think that's why I was like so pissed. You know,
I don't blame you. When that shit
happened, and like, you know, I'm not at the end of the day when it comes to music, like, being bitter sucks. It's not a good route to be. You know what I mean? I try. You know, my mom was like, "Don't be bitter, be better." You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta be happy for people, because anyone who's making money in this industry, like, I mean, I gotta clap for you, because it's hard. You know what I'm saying? So like, I have a lot of respect, even if I don't like the music. If someone is successful and like making money, like, I'm really rooting for you, you know? Of course. But like, bring it back to like me specifically, like, it's like I was saying earlier, I wanted to quit. You know what I mean? Like, I was close, and I just, because like there's so many other things I want to do, and when you have to deal with like this kind of these people who just don't really give a shit, or like they're kind of stringing you along, or they don't get it or whatever, you're kind of like, why am I doing this? I'm not really making like hella money. You know,
it's discouraging.
Like, you know, you go into a room and like people you're talking to, like record executives, you're like, yo, there's like these people are out of touch. You know what I'm saying? But they control the bank accounts and shit. Like, it's a weird business. I don't even know where I'm going with this tangent, but it's hard.
I like it.
Don't ever become a musician is what I'm saying. Don't do it. It's hard. But when it's fun, it's fun. Like, when it's good, the highs are high and the lows are super low. But,
fuck yeah.
But I mean, shit. I'm a hunk, so I just gotta ride it out.
No, I mean, I love the album, and I'm so glad that you actually did put it out. Because
thanks, man.
It's fucking, it's like it was one thing from this summer that I was actually genuinely really excited for in terms of music, because I'm kind of in that like same boat where I'm just like, I'm not really like, there's like 2 albums that came out this summer that I'm like actually fucking with, and they've been on repeat. Like it was the new Dance Gavin Dance album, which I'm sure you don't know who Dance Gavin Dance is.
Okay, I know he's a musician, or is it a he, or is it a band? Okay, whatever. I just know I've heard of them. I've heard the name.
Okay,
I've heard enough.
I mean, they've been going for.
I've heard the name.
They're like close to 15 years strong at this point, and it's like their 10th album. That was the only album I was like. That was like the other album that I was excited for, and then Hunk Music, which was dude, when you posted the teaser with New Model, I guess it would have been in like fucking late June, early July now.
Yeah, June, July, I think.
Fuck.
July, right?
Oh, go, like honestly, at this point, just go search up Hero on fucking Spotify, Apple Music, whatever.
Do it.
And like listen to the new Hunk Music. It's so fucking good. And just that riff, that oh my God. How did you come up with that?
Man, that's funny. I actually did a remix in 2016, 2017. Somehow I gotten like this Kiara vocal.
Okay.
For I don't know what the song was called. Hang Up the Phone or like Pick Up the Phone.
Wait, Kiara, like the fucking
like Gold, like that song.
Really? I fucking love her voice.
Really? I don't.
Fair enough.
I mean, yo, but that's just me. That's just me though. I think I'm in the minority.
I like that song.
Yeah. So somehow I think the manager I had at the time had some kind of connection to them. Okay. And also I think I was talking to Atlantic, because I remember being in some office at Atlantic at the time. Anyways.
Okay.
And she signed to Atlantic, or was. I don't know what the fuck she's doing now. But
she's still making music.
She's still making music?
Yeah.
Word. So yeah, so it was that, and like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a remix. And I did it, and then like nothing really happened.
Okay.
But that like melody I made it for in there, and I was like, yo, that's a sick melody. And I'm like, I don't even want to give it to her. Like this is too fire. So then I had that melody for a while. It got passed around. I think like it was like at one point, I had heard like Lady Gaga over it, because like I was working with this guy White Shadow who'd worked with Lady Gaga at the time, and he like. He played or something or whatever, but he like I remember being in his house and him playing like this thing of her going like meh, like, you know, like doing like kind of ad libs over the beat and kind of mouthing shit.
And what did it
never ended up happening though.
Fair enough. Was it okay? So because like the way it is on the album, it's very like synthy and like
like just that melody though. Like that's the only thing I took.
Was it just like piano?
Just that. No, it was I don't know, it was just some like vocal synth, and I just took that melody line from that remix and put it in my new song instead. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So that's what you had done for Kiara, and then it just kind of okay.
Well, yeah, like I'd done a Kiara remix. I don't even know if they were even aware of it, or if like whoever my manager was at the time was just like bullshit. Yeah, because it could have been, but
well, you'd hope it wasn't bullshit, but yeah,
you never know in this.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
But yeah, I mean, there's a few remixes though that I have that just never, like I did a Khalid Talk remix that just
really.
Yeah, I don't.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah,
I want to hear it.
Yeah,
because I like that song.
Yeah, I did a Talk. What else? I mean, I actually have like I'm working on some remixes right now, but those are actually gonna come out.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. I don't know where I was going with that.
No. I was asking about old model, new model.
Oh yeah, old model, new model. Yeah. So yeah, that was it basically. And like when you think about old model, new model, it's like this is just after he lost that fight.
Yeah.
Right? So he's kind of in the dumps.
Yeah.
You listen to lyrics. It's like they say they love you. That's a lie. And to me, that was just a metaphor for the music industry. Like you have a lot of people in your ear, like, oh yeah, you're the greatest, you're the best, you're this, you're that. But like, as soon as like some shit happens, it's kind of like. You know, like it's what have you done for me lately? So,
yeah, the vanishing act.
Yeah, so I think old model is like, you know, you come to terms with that, and then new model is just like, okay, cool, I'll just rely on myself. I'm gonna come back. I'm singing the same song, but like in a different tune.
I love it. Yeah, because it's like faster and more upbeat. And
yeah,
like, yeah, and I love the
like punching the meat.
Yes, the Rocky
shit.
moment.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of, because like the teaser that you had posted was from New Model.
Yeah.
So when I got to the album and like I was listening to it,
yeah,
and Old Model started playing, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this isn't because you released New Model too.
Yeah, I did.
As a single.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when I was listening to the album, I was like, wait, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look and it's like Old Model. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I kind of, I got that that nice juxtaposition from the album, but now like obviously knowing the backstory and all that shit, it's just like, oh, it ties together so nicely.
Yeah, because if you listen to the whole album like front to back, right, you can start seeing the like Crush You is the one guy's entrance music. The Mastodon is the bad guy, is the heel's entrance music. And it's inspired by Vader, right? Big Van Vader, because that's one of my favorite fucking wrestlers of all time.
I see that now.
And then, you know, then you have, I think, Special Bulletin or whatever, which is basically the news being like, this motherfucker almost got killed. Like, you know, and then he has to retrain back up and then like build himself from nothing and you know, try and go up that hill again. And that's what music is. Like every time, I feel like every time I make an album, and I know a lot of artists feel this way, it's like you're starting all over again, right? It's kind of like, because it's what have you done for me lately? So if you're not, if you don't have, if you haven't been making stuff for a while, it's kind of like you got to reintroduce yourself every time, right? And that's just how it is today. That's just, you know, it's just the nature of the business. Like you can't, I think being mysterious or cool, because I used to want to be mysterious. Yeah. Like I was super down for that, but I'm just like not. Like I just talk a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't shut the fuck up. So, but on top of that, I feel like a lot of artists these days, you don't really have the luxury of being mysterious. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think, unless you have a lot of money to put your shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like ads and stuff. But
that's why Kanye gets away with it, because he fucking.
Well, and also he's Kanye though, right? Because at the beginning he wasn't like that. He was trying to that would listen, right? He was trying to, and
he built that mystique. In the last like fucking 5 years.
Totally right. Whereas like,
what's Kanye doing? Why is he fucking doing all this weird shit? And like,
and even you look at Weeknd, I feel like he's done the opposite, right? Like no one knew what he looked like to now he's like a giant pop star. And I think it's also just because like, yo, shit has changed, right? And and I know he wanted to. I think. There was an article where he's saying, you know, after I think Kissland or something, he wanted to, you know, like really go for the pop thing.
Yeah, and he wanted to build like a stage show, which is exactly what he's done. Yeah. He's got sets. He's got fucking like, he has like dance. Like his whole thing is like a fucking.
It's like theater. A production. Yeah, exactly. So,
which I think is really rad, because like there's so many pop acts that have gone like you like Lady Gaga and like Britney Spears and like all of those like really big pop acts, when they go on tour, they're doing like a fucking, like Taylor Swift is a really good example of like when she goes on tour, she's doing a fucking stage show. My wife is like Taylor Swift's biggest fan, although I'm sure all of Taylor Swift's fans are her biggest fan, but she loves Taylor Swift and was lucky enough to go see her play in Toronto when she was doing that stadium tour. So she played at the fucking Blue Jays like stadium, and there's like, it was a Reputation tour or whatever. I don't know that much about it, but that particular tour and what they had like rehearsed and the stage build or whatever, there's like a thing on Netflix where it's like the whole concert, start to finish, and like the level to which they fucking put these like productions together is just amazing. Like the gigantic fucking stage, the fireworks, the spectacle of everything, right? So it's just like, if you have the fans and you have the money and you have all these things, like if you have the ability, fucking do it. Go put a show on. Yeah. And are you familiar with the band Ghost?
Yes.
Okay. Ghost is another good example of like a band that started out like their whole shtick is like, we're these fucking Satanists and like, you know, we look really demonic. I remember when they were playing like smaller venues, there was like an image of them in like Fast Forward magazine or whatever. It was like Ghost is coming to play Calgary, and I was like, those guys look so fucking like I like metal, but I was like, that's
because the main guy, right? He would have the
like they have
paint.
the faceless ghouls, and then he still wears it.
Yeah,
but it's funny when you actually listen to their music. It's so not what they look like. The best comment I've ever seen about Ghost is on one of their music videos, and it was somebody on YouTube that said, "Oh, look, it's Satan and Garfunkel." Because that's literally what they fucking sound like.
Very nice, very evil.
Yeah, and it's like they're making like satanic gospel music. It's fucking beautiful, and like their earlier stuff's really good. Their newest album not great, but anyway, it's like that is the perfect example of a band that started out that had aspirations of putting together this grand production, and they started off playing smaller venues and not really being able to do all of the things that they wanted to do. Whereas now when they're playing, they've got fucking full on banners that are like stained glass of like, they make the stage look like a church. Totally. And he does like 5 different costume changes during the fucking show. Like it's impressive what you can do once you get to a certain level.
And I think that, just to add to what you're saying, when it comes to music, like, again, it's a what have you done for me lately business. So when you look at someone like Ghost, no one's talking about how they started. Everyone's talking about what they're doing now.
Of course.
So like you can, to go back to like the mysterious thing, because I think I've talked to a lot of artists, who struggle with like things like social media, and just putting themselves out there because it's uncomfortable, it's weird, and like people just. They're like, I don't want to do this shit.
Social media is very invasive.
It's super invasive, especially like if you're an introvert, you're just like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Why you gotta see what I'm doing? But, or they think it's corny, right? In a way, where they're like, oh, why do I gotta promote this shit? Whatever.
Corny is 100% on the mark.
And it can be like there are corny motherfuckers out there, but like a lot of corny motherfuckers are eating right now because they put themselves out there, right? So when I look at like, let's take Ghost for example, right? Like you're saying that they had smaller venues, whatever. But now I know of Ghosts, and all I know is that they're what they are now, right?
Totally.
Like I don't really know about their past, whatever. And I feel like that's most people. Like even again, Kanye's. If you watch his documentary on Netflix, which I honestly thought was going to be whack, but was actually pretty good.
Genius.
The Kanye one.
I think it's like Netflix. It's like Junya, like Juny.
It's Genius.
Is it Genius?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, like Genius, some shit like that. Or Yay, or I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. Kanye's in it.
Yeah, like 3
and
parts.
like you see this guy, you see him at what is it? I think like Rockefeller Records, and this guy's like going office to office, rapping for people, and they're just like, whatever, nigga. Like they don't care. They're literally ignoring this guy. They're like,
when he was like selling beats
when he was the beat maker but not a rapper. They're like, yo, go away, bro. Because
he was corny. He was like fucking like.
Well, it wasn't even like, I don't think he was corny. I think he's just. It's just he was just. They're like, yo, we don't see you that way. We see you as this.
Because he was like a nerdy kid that like.
He's just kind of awkward, like he's
like
just
a nerdy,
socially
awkward.
Yeah. But now you look at him, he's like the arbiter of taste, right? He's like, oh, what's he doing? What's this?
Yeah.
Right. And like he built that, so you can build that eventually. You know what I mean? You don't have to start off like fully formed.
No.
Being like
everybody starts somewhere.
Everyone starts somewhere, and I think that's like a big lesson that sounds simple, but like I think I had to relearn it. And I think for any artist out there, it's like, yo, just put your shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, like all those hangups you have are your own. Like to everyone else, it's brand fucking new. No one knows that you like didn't compress that right, because no one knows what the fuck that means. Dude, so it's not doing it. Like I was talking to this one DJ. Duke Dumont.
Okay.
And
I love Duke Dumont.
He's super dope. Really, really cool motherfucker.
You know Duke Dumont?
Like I'm not saying we're fucking best friends,
but like we talked to him.
Like he sent me a DM on IG over like a remix he heard.
Speaking of that, I fucking Makeup and Vanity Set.
Yes.
He shared one of your posts too about the album, and I fucking messaged him about
who is that? I don't know if I don't know. I know that name.
I love like I don't know who he is like in reality, but like I fucking love his music.
Dope.
And
I've definitely seen that name. I feel like I know that name. I'm
he's
just
pretty
trying to
big
think of
in
like
in the synth wave kind of.
Yeah, okay.
He's pretty big in those circles.
Got
and I actually have one of his vinyls on.
Oh no way. Okay.
And I had seen that he had shared something about Hunk Music.
Oh wow.
And I like commented on it or like DM'd him, and I was just like, dude, I can't wait. Like, I'm gonna have Sean on the show. And like, he's a really rad dude, and he was like, cool. Like, it was like really like a simple interaction, and I didn't know if you guys had talked previously, but anyway,
maybe I don't honestly. I don't know.
But duked him on.
He just sent me a DM. You know, we just hopped on a call. And then there's another time I hit him up. I was just like, "Hey man, can I get some advice?" And he was like, "Yeah, man." He didn't have to do that, bro. He was so gracious. He's just like, "Hey man," he spoke to me for a while, gave me some great advice. Where was I going with this though? He
hit you up about the album?
No. This is before. It was about a remix I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I forget where I was going.
I'm sorry. I totally fucking cut you off. About a remix. Duke DeMont.
Oh yeah, okay, now I remember. Yeah, because we were just talking about like material.
Yes.
And one of the things he said that I 100% agree with, and I think a lot of artists are guilty of this. He's just like, yo, your music is not doing you any good just sitting on your fucking hard drive.
Yeah.
You know, like put it out, just put it out there. And I see that all the time where I talk to artists showing me music, like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, just fucking put it out.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's just content. Like, you have to, like, it nowadays, I feel like the only thing that matters with music is volume. It's all about the content drip. If you look at a fucking YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Like, most YouTube channels, they have, like, a day, like, let's say Wednesday. Every Wednesday, they're going to be putting out a video.
Yep.
It's not always a great video.
Nope.
Like, I follow a lot of channels. They don't always put out bangers, but I still tune in. And I think once you have people conditioned to that schedule of like, hey, I'm putting out content consistently, people just kind of start to fall in line, you know what I mean, for that content drip. And so, like, you know, one of my favorite sayings, shout out to Stu, is sell your sawdust, right? And like, if you're not selling your sawdust, if you're just keeping like random beats, if you have random beats that you're not fucking using or that you've made or random songs that are just sitting on your goddamn hard drive, why not put them out? You know, like, it's one thing if it doesn't represent you, but if it's just like, oh, I don't know, who fucking cares? Put it out, take it down next week. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And I think, like, as artists, we got to stop being so fucking precious about things. And I'm like one to talk because I was like one of the most precious about shit. But then I became a hunk and realized that none of that shit matters. You know,
I know. Dude, I've got a bunch of stuff on my server. That I'm like, I just haven't even cut it together because I'm like, oh, it's not quite like, it's not, it's not time, like, because I don't have enough built up or like, but it's fucking, who cares?
Just do it, man.
It's TikTok.
Well, yeah, it's
fucking
TikTok,
YouTube,
and it's new to everybody else. You know what I mean? That no one knows the context. They're just like, I just want content. I'm a fucking fiend. I'm a crackhead. Give me my fucking content drip.
No, that's a very good point. Well, and that's such a good point, and that's something that, like, I try to work on myself too, where it's like, it ultimately, like, okay, if I didn't light something as properly as I should have, or if I fucking just anything regarding like any of the videos I make or anything I make creatively, I'm the one that's critiquing it to death. Yeah. And nobody else is gonna fucking notice.
No one's gonna know.
I was having like a lunch meeting with a friend of mine who's also like a, you know, filmmaker, videographer, and I was showing him some of the music videos that I had like been a part of, whether I shot it or I you know, directed, edited, all that shit. And one of them I was showing, I shot it, but it was my friend who is the artist who he edited it on his end. And it's a fucking, dude, it's an unreal video. We shot it in this like cool like mirror room where it's just like the whole thing, it was just like a circular room and the whole thing's mirrors, but then they have these like LED screens at certain points. And well, it was like this, it was a thing, it was like an art installation that they had at Chasing Summer. Got it. And once Chasing Summer once the festival tour was done, they like dismantled it. Got it. So when it was in Calgary, he hit me up. He was like, yo, we got to shoot a music video in here because it's going to get dismantled once we get back to Vancouver. Okay. So it was very strategic. Like, it was just me with my camera and him in this room. And then so prior to the shoot, we had gone and we built like these fucking videos, like these very specifically sized videos to play on the LED screens. And that was the only lighting we were used, because once we closed the door, there was no light in there, and then everything was based on the fucking LED screens. Got it. So we had like fire and explosions and like like armies marching and like the Vancouver, like just fucked up shit. But it was like
that's like when you kidnap someone, you want to program them to be violent. Like,
it was very Clockwork Orange, but it was also like distorted enough that it was like you couldn't really tell what it was. Like there was like surgeries and like it was a lot
that's
of,
like when they're making Blanca in Street Fighter.
Yeah. Like it's
sorry, I keep interrupting, but no. That's what reminds me of.
It's like cool imagery, but also just like basically I was just using it as like cool lighting in the video. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem with using an LED screen specifically to light your subject and to light a video, you're going to get a lot of banding.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know what you're
talking about.
So
if your shutter isn't running at the same frequency as the fucking screen, you get all that LED banding, and I fucking hate it. So I'm showing my friend who's a videographer this video, and the whole time all I can see is the fucking light banding, and my friend who I shot the video for, like the artist, that's all he can see when he was editing the video. And we were both kind of bummed about it, but we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so everybody that's watched the video, nobody fucking notices it. And so my friend who's a videographer, he's watching the video, and I'm like, well, what'd you think? And he was like, oh, dude, the video is amazing. And I was like, cool. I was like, but the banding issue. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, you didn't notice the fucking LED banding? He was like, well, now that you say it, I did, but I didn't before. And so it's just like, it's shit like that where you're kind of like, only you are going to be cognizant of the mistakes.
Exactly.
Or the shit that does. It's like, sometimes mistakes aren't even mistakes. They're happy accidents, and they lead to magic. There's been so many shoots that I've been on, or little creative things or artistic things that I've done where like happy accidents have actually led to like something that winds up being so cool in the end, and people are like, oh shit, I actually really like that. And I'm like, well, we didn't plan for that.
Yeah.
And it's like that Dustin Hoffman scene in fucking, I want to say it's Urban Cowboy, if you know what I'm talking about, where they're filming in New York and there's the camera is on the other side of the street, and Dustin Hoffman and Angelina Jolie's dad, whatever the fuck his name, John Voight, they're walking towards the camera and they're mic'd up, right? So they're talking the whole time. And as they're crossing the street, famously, this taxi cab drives into the fucking crosswalk, and Dustin Hoffman stops and like hits the hood and goes, I'm walking here.
Yeah.
So that was not planned. That was an accident. Right? But how often when people are fucking quoting Midnight Cowboy, or not even quoting Midnight Cowboy,
they don't even know, because I didn't know that's where it's from. Yeah, 100%.
People are, I'm walking here, because you know that line, but you don't know Midnight Cowboy.
100%.
Perfect example of a happy mistake right there.
Totally, man. Even anyone who's ever made a music video knows that, like, I don't think any of my music video shoots have gone the way I wanted.
Of course
not one.
Of course
like,
not.
I'm trying to, I don't think one of them has gone as intended, but
I'm really excited to go watch them now, because I don't think I've seen any of your music videos, which is like, as a Hero fan, I kind of feel ashamed. Are you a Hero fan, dog? No.
Are you?
I just listen to the music. Fuck the videos.
You will be once you see the video. Everyone else too, go to youtube.com/Hero 3001. If that's not the right one, I'm sorry.
Hero 3001.
Sure,
Is that a Childish Gambino reference?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Fuck no.
Bro, do you like Childish Gambino?
No. Well, listen, I like Awaken My Love because there's some dope songs. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Awaken My Love?
Something like that.
Some shit like that.
Like
the one
EP?
with Redbone. The one with Redbone. The album with Redbone. There's some bangers on there.
That's a good
All his
album.
shit before that, I fucking hate.
You don't like...
Oh my God, dude. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, bro, I cannot take his... Bro, anything with him rapping is not for me. I like Donald Glover. I like Atlanta. I think he's a... I think he's a super talented
really
dude. I think he's dialed into whatever he's got going on. But
he's built the mystery thing too now.
Exactly. And if you look, bro, I know him. You probably know him from the same thing, Derek Comedy. Remember Derek Comedy back in the day? It was like one of the early YouTube.
Oh
so
my! Okay.
The first time I saw him was Derek Comedy. So to me, he was the Derek Comedy guy.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I know him mostly from Community, obviously.
That too.
But Derek Comedy, 100%. Like of course, we all watched. Like,
man.
Dude, the spelling bee.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't say it, but that is the spelling bee sketch of Derek Comedy is like one of the most uncomfortable but hilarious when he is saying it.
Yeah.
At the very end of that sketch, when he goes up to the guy and he's like, I heard you say it.
Yeah.
And it's like the two worst words you could possibly say in the world.
Pretty bad fucking words.
It's amazing to me that they got away with that shit, but
bro, it was like 06, 07, you know?
Yeah,
like, it was different.
Do you know like Whitest Kids You Know?
I know of the Whitest Kids.
Did you didn't ever? Okay, so it's like, very similar vein. So like there's one thing where they're in a board meeting and they're trying to come up with like a fucking mascot for this like drink or something, and like they're like, it's the grapest, and it's just like this grape colored or thing, and it's like, you can't, it's gonna grape you in the mouth. Like, dude, that era of comedy,
love that shit.
Oh yeah, that era of comedy was fucking ridiculous. And it is now, because like I would have said Community, but yeah, now that you bring up Derek Comedy, it is wild that that's where he went.
Yeah,
he went from Derek Comedy to what he's doing.
And so, and that's what I mean by like, bro, all people remember is the last thing about you.
Did you? Not to cut you off again. Yeah. Did you watch the movie, the Derek Comedy?
The Mystery. Yeah, that ages ago. Though. I don't remember it. I don't remember it now, but because like I wasn't a big Derek Comedy guy. Someone showed me at school. I remember.
Okay.
But anyways, just a random thing. But it ties into like, like look at him now. He's like this cool, like, and he is like he's a fucking superstar. He does a lot of he is. He's a superstar, right?
Yeah.
But he started off doing these weird like, and. But what I like too, though, is like I feel like he's been himself the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like but to his rap, man, I don't like it though, bro. It's not for me. Like I was like, this shit is. I remember I was dating a girl at the time. She used to always play like his shit. I'm like, this is fucking whack. It's not for me.
I like Because the Internet. Like that's his second album. Mm-hmm. His first album's a little. There's like. Because the Internet, like the second one, that's when he kind of started getting, like the music was getting weird. Mm-hmm. Awaken My Love, it was like he went way more R&B and like
like funk and shit. Reminds me of like Parliament. That's why I liked it because it reminded me of shit my dad would like show me.
Yeah, and like and I
like his singing voice. I think he has a great singing voice.
He has personally amazing.
Really like it.
Yeah, and that's okay. To that point, that is the Drake stuff I love the most.
The singing stuff.
Yes.
Really?
I don't like his rapping.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's a per song basis.
Although with Drake, I think the best album he ever made was Take Care.
I see. I don't think I think the beats aged kind of like. I think at the time the beats were crazy, but now they like sound very much of that time.
Yeah. I mean, that's with anything though. It's gonna age, right?
Yeah, but no, I don't think so. Well, yeah, things will age, but like, nah, man. Certain songs, like, bro, if I listen to, there's certain songs I can listen to that just, Running Up That Hill.
Yeah,
that could have been made today.
And
you know what I'm saying?
To that point, the first time I heard Running Up That Hill, which was not because of Stranger Things. It was actually like I've been listening to it for somebody. It was in another show, and somebody had posted about it on Instagram or something. Okay. Like a few years ago, and I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, this is a great song. I thought it was new. Like I thought it was made in like 2010.
Yeah. It sounds like
fucking 80s.
Totally. You know what's another song like that? Like The Stooges, Want to Be Your Dog.
Yes.
That song could like every time you hear that song, it sounds like it could have been made today. Yeah. It's like it's just whereas I think with Take Care a lot, like there's still, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some bangers on there, but I think you know what though. Also, I think it's because I'm a producer too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, so I associate certain sounds with certain years. Certain eras. So I think maybe that's more of a me thing than a.
It might be because, like, for me, well, no, that's a good point. Because I mean, that album.
Because T minus, man, there's a lot of T minus on there, and like he has a very specific sound from that time.
That shit I don't. Yeah, know.
See, like there's a producer T minus. Yeah. He has a very specific sound from that era, and a lot of people were actually were copying his sound. So when I hear that, it just reminds me of that time.
It feels dated. What I mean?
It feels dated because he doesn't really produce like that anymore, and no one does. So like to me, it just reminds me of a certain time. So I think maybe it's a me thing because I'm a producer. But
fair enough.
But yeah, I mean,
I'll have to. You know what? Now that you say it, I'll have to go. Yeah,
when's the last time you listened to it? That's the other thing, right?
I mean, probably a couple years ago, because like every once in a while I get a hankering, and I do genuinely like that album.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree and think that it's his best album.
Yeah,
so.
and I mean, like there was like off the EP before that, like when he was starting to pop off. No, it wasn't.
Thank Me Later, right? Well, there's So Far Gone, I think, right? That was the mix. Man, that guy has so much music when I think back. Because he had the 3 mixtapes before, right?
Which then, I didn't really listen. The one that had karaoke on it. Like I like
I don't know.
And Fireworks. It was the one. It was the.
I think that's
Thank Me Later. I think it was. Yeah, and then Take Care. Okay. That album, because I obviously like we all knew him from Degrassi. Yeah. Did you watch Degrassi?
I watched Degrassi Junior High and like the 80s one only because again, like we didn't have cable, so that would come on CBC after school. But like my sister, I think, was into like the Drake.
Yeah, generation. I fucked heavily with Degrassi TNG. Like I still have all the DVDs.
Whatever it takes. Right, that one.
We know we're gonna get it. Whatever the fuck. I know we're gonna. Make it
I know what happened because I remember he got shot. Right, he's in a
he winds up in a wheelchair and
fucking who else?
He resented that too.
Where are all those kids? This is super.
They're I fucking.
What are they up to? What's Spinner up to? That's a guy, right? Spinner.
Yeah.
Was that a guy?
Yeah. He was like one of the.
See, I know names.
Yeah.
I know motherfuckers like in Degrassi. Fucking.
I follow a couple of them on fucking Instagram, I think. Oh no, actually, not even that long.
Oh, they were in that video, right?
I was gonna say the pre-pandemic. Drake did that fucking, and Jay and Silent Bob were in it too.
Oh yeah, they were on this show, weren't they? Why were they on the show?
Because it was Jay and Silent Bob do Canada or something. Like I have the DVD
That's
somewhere.
Fucking weird.
It was really fucking weird because it's like. It's one of those pop culture things. It's because he loves Degrassi. Like Kev Smith loves Degrassi. So then they were like, "You want to come be on the show?" And he was like, "Sure, we'll dress up as Jay and Silent Bob." And it's just like
Canada's weird. Hey?
Oh, it's like, so weird
because we have a lot of bullshit TV, right? But then like certain things like Degrassi are just like. But I guess at the time that was really edgy, right?
Good TV though, right now.
Like who? Like what? Tell me, because I don't know.
Really?
Bro, don't say Letterkenny though, please. Who? Don't say Letterkenny because I tried to watch it and I was like,
No, fair enough. Personally, I love I'm a white guy. I love Letterkenny.
I mean, look, I'm a Canadian dude and I grew up around these kind of guys, but I think
that's fair.
Maybe it's just PTSD for me.
Fair enough. Letterkenny, I'm actually shocked has taken off the way that it did because it is a fucking weird show. Like,
I'm not shocked because to me it's so like.
It's like, an amazing show.
Dudes I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, right? It's
fuck. Yeah, but then,
goal, man.
But there's also, like, every episode has a fucking, like, slow montage music video in it. Weird. Where they play, it's, like, that's what I mean when it's weird. So, there's
like Sons of Anarchy.
Kind of. But it's literally like...
I'm sorry, but every episode of Sons of Anarchy...
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they had 2 montages in one episode. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, yeah. Okay. For Canadian shows, Working Moms...
Working Moms. Who's in that?
Catherine Reitman, the daughter of Ivan Reitman, who created Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And his son just directed the
Jason Reitman, right? Who I met while they were filming it.
Oh yeah, they're like, didn't they? Anyways,
whatever. They filmed it here. My high school in Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's my high school that I went to. Wow. When you asked me what high school I went to the one in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Nice. That's you're part of the legacy now.
I literally am. I'm technically in it because my grad photo is in the movie.
There you go.
Because anyway.
You have an IMDb. You should start with.
I do have an IMDb.
There you go. Boom. That's a credit right
there. Working Moms is like one of the funniest shows I've ever watched in my life.
Okay.
Obviously, it has a lot to do with like family dynamics and like being a working mom and like all that shit. But it's genuinely funny. Kim's Convenience is actually like really heartwarming and.
I don't believe you, bro. Is it good?
I love Kim's Convenience.
Okay.
I love it. It's not for, I get it. It's not for everybody, but like I love
family.
I guess.
No, I
love. Yeah, no, I'm Vin Diesel secretly. I'm going bald.
My family.
Kim's Convenience. Schitt's Creek is really fucking funny.
Schitt's Creek.
Fucking. There's one that it's called Pretty Hard Cases. There's 2 seasons on Netflix now. It's like a buddy cop show, but it's 2 women. instead of two like guy cops. That show's actually pretty good.
Is that like Risley and Isles or whatever? Or?
What's that?
No, that's just another random. Okay. I mean, I will say this. Sorry to cut you off, but I will say this about Canadian shows, because when we do hit one, we hit it out of the park though. Kenny vs. Spenny.
Oh my
money.
God.
Trailer Park Boys. Money, dog.
Yeah.
Do you remember fucking Jonavision? Do you remember Jonavision?
Like J-Rock from fucking...
Yeah, man.
No, I never watched
He had a fucking talk show on
know
CBC.
he had
Oh, my God.
I didn't watch it, though. Was it good?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like for the time it was, he had weird skits that made me laugh. I remember that much.
Oh, okay.
But like
Fair
when
enough.
I talk to people about Jonavision, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Jonavision. But it's because I didn't have cable, so I would watch hella CBC and shit. You know? What's that?
Tom Green wasn't on CBC, was he?
No, but he was on
because he started out cable access.
Shout out to him. He's a genius.
Tom Green's another person I would love to have.
Because remember, well, dude, look at this. Remember when he started doing Tom Green's House Tonight?
Yep.
Now everyone's doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Danny Brown has a show. Like, yo, like he was like, man,
he was at the forefront of a lot of this.
He definitely was, man. Yeah. Like he definitely was.
Well, and then
I don't think he gets credit for it.
No, of course. Well, yeah, and then he took it on the road, like in his van, and now he's like, I don't know where he's landed, somewhere in the States, I think. Yeah. No, or in I don't know, but dude. Tom Green is definitely one of the forefathers of like podcasting and doing like your own independent show. And even before he did Tom Green Tonight, like that's what he's done his entire career.
The Tom Green show.
The Tom Green show was literally them with like a fucking video camera, and then he was just putting it on cable access.
Oh my God, dude!
Like.
As a kid, that was like, what? Did you see Tom Green?
Yeah.
Did you see what he did last night? Like, that shit was serious.
Well, and then he turned it into a fucking, like, dude, he got a fucking movie.
This guy almost fucking married Drew Barrymore, man. Tom Green, when she was in Charlie's Angels. Like, how, bro?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Remember he was in the fucking movie, too? Like... That's how big that guy was. This dude was about to marry
as soon
Drew.
as you said that, what I pictured was them on the red carpet at the Charlie's Angels premiere. I will never forget that photo because it was like, that's bizarre. I forgot that he was with fucking Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, man, Drew Barrymore. Like, yo, Tom, you're a Canadian legend, brother.
Absolute fucking
Check
legend.
the OR. You like it so far? Remember that shit?
Yep. Check the OR. You like it? What was their group called?
I don't remember.
I've seen that on Much Music so many times.
You're like, it's so fun.
And like the black and white music video with the fisheye. Oh my God.
That's what I mean. So like Canada, we have a lot of like Buzz. I remember Buzz.
Yeah.
Darren and Mr. Mo.
Yeah. Ed the Sock.
Ed the Sock. Fromage.
Dude, Ed the Sock is back too, I think.
It just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it could be this. Yeah, no, like it's just... At the time, because even I've tried to like rewatch when I was younger, I thought that shit was like the funniest. Me and my sister used to watch that shit.
Beavis and Butthead is back too.
I saw that, yeah. But I never really watched that though. Again, no cable.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm sorry.
I know, man.
I'm sorry.
Sucks.
Fuck. We've been. Oh my God,
really bad.
Well, I know I do too. Well, let's fucking end.
Like I'm outside. All right, we're back.
And now, this is where it ends.
See you later.
Bye. Thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Having me.
Oh my God, yeah. Dude, I can't wait to do another episode. Like, this was unbelievable. I mean, we're almost at fucking 3 hours.
Wow.
Which is, like we're at 2:45 right now, which is wild. This is you're officially the longest episode. Yes. So I might cut this into 2, but we'll see.
Fucking go. Part 1, part 2.
Part 1, part 2. And then, let's fucking see if we can get Bret Hart. Do like a joint episode because that would be fucking unbelievable.
Crazy.
And let's do some fucking Halloween shit too.
Oh my God, yo, listen, I will come back anytime.
Beautiful.
Especially for Halloween, especially for horror movies.
I have a couple ideas, but we'll talk about that off camera, and then we'll see what we can do, what we can set up for next month.
Fuck yeah, man.
But yeah, for this episode of This Will Never Work, I'm Lincoln.
I'm a hunk.
This is Hunk a Mania right fucking here. Hold on. Oh, we got the nipples out.
So you want to see some... Hold up.
Oh, here we go. Ah, there it is. Oh, shit. Ah, let's try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, nigga.
Sometimes the irony of trying to write a theme song for a show called This Will Never Work gets the best of you, and, well, it sucks. So, welcome.